And it's Ken Kraetzer for Sons of the American Legion Radio, rallypoint.com, and we're in Long Island for the retirement ceremony today of Master Chief Petty Officer William Caraballo. And, sir, great to be with you today. Just what are your thoughts about your retirement day? Your friends were here, your family, and you were very well respected, recognized by your colleagues.
Well, it's hard to describe. There's a lot of emotions, a lot of feelings. 30 years is a long time, and you just never really know how fast that's going to happen until you're sitting up here at the podium talking to everybody and seeing how much, and talking about how much you have done in those 30 years, and it's just amazing. It's hard to describe. Like I said, a lot of feelings, a lot of emotions. See all the people here today, and family that I haven't seen in a long time, and 8 deployments, 8 different ships, 3 9-month deployments in a row, lots of time away from home, and just taking it all in and trying to figure out what I'm going to do next.
Well, you mentioned the deployment on the aircraft carrier Harry Truman, which you served with our friend Fleet Master Chief Ray Kemp. And most importantly, I think, was a comment that everybody came home safely from that deployment, where you flew as many missions as anyone had ever flown at that time off a carrier. What does it feel like for you when you're able to help manage a successful deployment and bring everybody home?
It's just truly amazing. So there's about 5,000 people on board that ship, 5,000 men and women, sailors, airmen. We had 73 aircraft. We were gone for 9 months. It's just amazing when you think about that amount of folks going out to sea, doing our missions in Afghanistan and other places, hitting port visits, having a good time, working every day at sea. I mean, you're talking about the airport doesn't close when you're at sea. It's a 24-hour-a-day mission. And the fact that we were able to go out there 9 months and come back with all our men and women and all our aircraft was truly actually very amazing that we did that. And me and Fleet Kemp, we did it. We were very proud of it. We didn't really advertise it too much because not many people really hear us talk about it, but me and him talk about it quite a bit. It was really a great accomplishment.
No, absolutely. And you talked about your career. It wasn't always easy. What were some of the things that you learned along the way that enabled you to keep staying with the Navy, persevering, mentoring young sailors, and advancing to the level that you did?
Well, for me, it's always been, I don't start with no. I always want to get to yes. So I have a sailor that comes up to me and asks me a question about financial stuff, about qualifications, about having to do things with his family. And I'll sit down and I'll talk with him and try to figure it out. But I always start at yes. Yes is always harder because it always means you got to do more for it. No is really easy. A lot of folks, he'll tell you, no, you can't do it, and hopefully you go away. But I've always been the guy that starts with yes and try to get it done and try to get the best for my sailors and my shipmates.
Hey, just to ask you, we see a lot of young sailors joining the Navy. We see tremendous responsibility given to them at young ages when we go out on the embarkations on the ships at New York City Fleet Week. Why is the Navy a good career for a sailor, someone who wants to go to an academy or go to an ROTC program? Why do you recommend the Navy as a great start of a career?
Well, the Navy is a great start from the beginning. I mean, the first thing it teaches you discipline. It teaches you how to learn. It teaches you how to respect people. It teaches you all these things that sometimes gets a little lost when you're growing up. And I joined the Navy at 28, and there was a lot of stuff I learned I should have known before I was 28, and I didn't know. And so it's a great starting point for young kids or men and women to join the Navy. Even if it's for 4 or 5 years, whatever it is, a short amount of time. You get out of the Navy, you got a different perspective of everything. And you got your GI Bill, which is called the 9/11 bill now, which is worth quite a lot of money. And when you're talking about kids taking out student loans and they go to school and years later, you still owe hundreds of thousands of dollars in your school loans. So, it is a great, great opportunity, and it's a great way to start.
Got to say, one of my earliest memories was my dad's retirement ceremony from 25 years in the Army, and you mentioned today the support of your family, and families are the backbone of the entire United States military. Just tell us a little bit about your family.
Well, I have a wife. I have 3 kids. My wife came with 3 kids, so we have 6 children, 2 grandchildren, 1 boy, 1 girl. One was here today, Noah. During the ceremony, I talked about family a little bit, but it's the most important part when you're in the Navy or in whatever military branch you decide to go to. It's what keeps you going, I think. It's all about family. And my daughter who's just walking by here, we were stationed in Japan, and it's a sea story. So we were stationed in Japan, and I had to go to a place called Sasebo to do some work out there inspecting ships. The very next day was her birthday. I got all the way back from Sasebo, back to Yokosuka, picked up my daughter, got on the bus. We rode the bus to Mount Fuji. On her birthday, we climbed to the top of Mount Fuji. To this day, that picture of her and myself on top of that mountain, it is truly amazing. And it's those little things about family that's important.
Absolutely. Master Chief, Petty Officer William Caraballo, thank you for your service. You're a native of the Bronx, where my dad grew up. And just on behalf of everybody at the American Legion, RallyPoint.com, thank you for your service to our country.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Our pleasure. This is Ken Kraetzer on Long Island, the cradle of aviation for Sons of the American Legion Radio and RallyPoint.com.